1901. Off a tiny Greek island called Antikythera, sponge divers rise from an ancient shipwreck, clutching a shapeless lump of corroded bronze. The divers had stumbled onto one of the richest wrecks of the ancient world, a cargo ship that sank around the 1st century before Christ, heavy with bronze and marble statues. In the museum in Athens, those masterpieces stole every eye. The shapeless lump was set aside, ignored, left to dry in the open air. And as the seawater slowly left it, the ancient bronze began to crack. Then, in 1902, an archaeologist named Valerios Stais looked closer at a broken piece and froze. Set into the corrosion was a gear wheel with rows of tiny teeth, cut by hand with a precision that simply did not belong in the ancient world. Wheel meshing with wheel, dozens of them, an engine of bronze, built with breathtaking, deliberate precision. That was the impossible part. Nothing this complex, no geared mechanism even close to it, would appear anywhere on Earth for another 1,400 years, until the great astronomical clocks of medieval Europe. So how could it exist? To even begin to answer that, you have to travel back to the world that built it, the Hellenistic age, a little over a century before Christ. This was Greek science at its dazzling peak. In cities like Rhodes and Alexandria, astronomers were mapping the heavens with mathematics, tracking the sun and moon, predicting their motions. Knowledge, trade, and craft flowed across the Mediterranean, and somewhere in that world, a workshop turned pure astronomy into turning bronze. Decades after its discovery, the corroded fragments baffled everyone who studied them. They were clearly gear, but geared for what? The breakthrough came from a British physicist named Derek de Sola Price. Beginning in the 1950s, and later using gamma ray images to peer inside the bronze, he counted the teeth and traced the gear trains. In 1974, he published his conclusion under a bold title, Gears from the Greeks. This, he argued, was no ornament and no toy. It was a calculating machine, a computer made of bronze, 2,000 years old. It was such an outrageous idea that much of the world simply wasn't ready to believe him. The real proof came only recently. In 2005, an international team aimed a powerful microfocus X-ray scanner at the fragments and peeled back 20 centuries of corrosion without a single touch. What they found stunned them. Layered inside were more than 30 interlocking bronze gears, meshing in ways of astonishing sophistication. And hidden across the surfaces were thousands upon thousands of tiny Greek letters, a microscopic user's manual describing the heavens the machine was built to model. Slowly, letter by letter, gear by gear, the ghost of the device began to speak again after 2,000 years of silence. Turn the handle on its side, and time itself moves. Bronze pointers sweeping the sun, the moon, and the planets across the zodiac. Deeper still, a clever pin and slot gear recreates the moon's uneven speed, an ellipse drawn in bronze. 1,700 years before Kepler would explain why the moon races and then slows in the sky, these builders had already captured that motion in metal. But the front of the machine was only half the story. Turn it around, and the back held two great spiral dials. One followed a 19-year calendar that reconciled the sun and the moon. The other did something that once looked like pure sorcery. It predicted eclipses. Years in advance, a pointer wound along the spiral to the very month a shadow would fall, and tiny inscriptions even hinted at the eclipse's color and the winds that might follow. Where others saw omens and terror in the darkening sky, this machine offered something new: knowledge. And then, almost as an afterthought of pure genius, a small dial tracked something wonderfully, unmistakably human. It marked the 4-year cycle of the Great Pan-Hellenic Games, naming the athletic festivals held across the Greek world, the Olympics among them. Think about what that means. On one instrument of bronze, the silent turning of the heavens and the roar of a stadium crowd were bound to the very same handle. The cosmos and the calendar, the eclipse and the foot race, all of it geared together, as if to say the order of the sky and the rhythm of human life were one and the same machine. So who built it? For all its brilliance, the mechanism carries no signature, no maker's name, and that has left historians to chase ghosts. Some trace it to the island of Rhodes, home to the astronomer Hipparchus, whose theories of the moon seem echoed in its gears. Some whisper of the lost mechanical tradition of Archimedes, the greatest engineer of the ancient world. Others point to the philosopher Posidonius, who was said to have built a model of the heavens. We may never know, but the sheer sophistication tells us one thing for certain: this was not a first attempt. Behind it stood a whole tradition of craft that we have almost entirely lost. For over 1,000 years after this machine sank beneath the waves, nothing like it appears again. And that is the thought that should haunt you. For more than 1,000 years, nothing remotely as complex appears anywhere in the record. So was the Antikythera mechanism a lone miracle, or did an entire body of knowledge sink with that ship and simply vanish, erased by war, by fire, and by forgetting? Today, we give the device a name that once seemed absurd: the world's oldest known analog computer, a machine that modeled the entire known cosmos with nothing but bronze and brilliance, centuries before we thought such a thing was possible. It doesn't just sit behind museum glass, it forces us to rewrite what we believed the ancient world was capable of. One machine, pulled by pure chance from the bottom of the sea, shattered our certainty about the past. How much genius still lies buried out there, waiting